Cambridge Insider Podcast time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Meg, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. Stephen, how are you doing?
Also doing well, thank you. I have a little bit of a challenge distinguishing between colors. So am I right in saying that you're wearing purple glasses today?
I think they're blue, but you were very close.
You see that?
I think it's so funny when you were telling me about distinguishing colors. When I was getting dressed today, I was actually like, wow, if I'm wearing green, will he even be able to see me?
I can see you. I can see you clearly. All right. Before we get kick-started into this episode, a quick just logistical announcement. The Cambridge Insider Podcast will be taking a well overdue break before we kick off season 2. So today will be the final episode of season 1. But for all of our avid listeners, be sure to check your, our YouTube as well as all of our podcast pages on the various different channels. We will have announcements there, and be sure to keep you updated on when season 2 of the Cambridge Insider will be kicking off. But right now, the end of season 1, we want to end off on a really positive note. Meg, we're going to be talking a little bit about, or I suppose following up a little bit about what we spoke about last week, which was really, Cambridge's restructure, what that meant for our students and our school partners, and just sort of educating, all of our listeners on what's happening in the market and how that has affected us and how we are, adapting to that. We've seen in the past week or so feedback and a response to what's happened internally at Cambridge. And I think there are a couple of things that we want to address. Would you agree?
I think that there's definitely a couple of things that we need to address. And I think one of them, the first one is embrace the change. Life is constantly changing. And if you don't keep up with those changes, you're left behind. And it's true in every aspect of our lives. And it's certainly true in business. And right now, it's never been more true than ever in international student recruitment. So if I encourage all of our partners and anybody who's interested in working with international students to really look at your entire strategy and how that works within the current climate, because we've all found ourselves in a situation that's unprecedented, right? Cambridge is doing what we do best. We've been a leader in this environment for a very, very long time, both in student support and in recruitment. So from a recruitment standpoint, the market has changed dramatically. So in order to meet that change, you need to change your way of thinking, your strategies in order to be successful.
100%. It's been surprising, I think, to see some of the responses that we've gotten. There's certainly not a lot, but there certainly is panic around with some of our partners, some of our hosts, some of our students. I did say last week there's absolutely no reason to panic. On a corporate level, companies make changes on a month-to-month basis. Big corporations that have been around for years, the only reason they are still around is because they made those changes. Right. In our industry, we've seen, the 6 years that I've been at this company, I've probably seen upwards of 10 competitors cease to exist. And it's simply because they failed to recognize what needed to be done to continue providing excellent support to host students and school partners, and to continue being fruitful in this industry. That's what being in business is all about, and that's what being in the international education sector is all about. So, going back to what we said last week, these changes were necessary. If Cambridge Network didn't make these changes, we would jeopardize the future of the company, of our partners, of our students, and of our hosts. I want to make it abundantly clear right now, and I cannot emphasize this enough. The level of service has not changed. The commitment to student care has not changed. The commitment to being number one in terms of educating and strategizing with our school partners has not changed. The commitment to training and helping hosts be the absolute best representation of America as host families has not changed. In actual fact, I would go as far as to say all of those services across the board will likely continue to improve, simply because we have realized a more efficient, more effective way of doing things. And that really kickstarted a lot of this change. I did say a little bit of this last week, but the remote world, the online world of the pandemic made us realize that perhaps we weren't connecting with our students specifically in the right way. And that using technology, using phone check-ins, WeChat check-ins, online check-ins was way more at their comfort level. So that's first and foremost. And students will always be, regardless of what gets said, student support, student care will always be our #1 priority at this company. So that's really, really important. I think students now get a bilingual support team that they didn't always have direct access to, which is super, super important. I think hosts are way more connected to natural parents now, a channel which for them was never available in the past. And I think school partners, very little has changed in the school partnership management. Our SSA team, who are just, every week that I work with this team, I'm just blown away by their efficiency and their incredible hours of hard work that they put in. That team remains the #1 school resource. So not a lot has changed on that front. So I do want to emphasize again, absolutely no reason to panic. And it's, I think Meg said it so well, let's embrace the change. This is an opportunity to take this market forward and to continue providing excellent service and support to everybody that's involved. Meg, anything you want to add? I feel like I've...
change. I mean, I tend to think of Cambridge Network as a trendsetter, because we have for a very, very long time been addressing what we perceive to be the needs of the market through value-added service, through price change, through so many different ways, right? So when Cambridge Network makes a response to a market, as we're doing right now, I think that's really something that should be valuable, right? Because
exciting.
We're in it to win it, right? We believe firmly in international education. And I enjoy working so much with so many school partners who are so passionate about international education, right? So none of that has changed. Like you said, like so many things are going to remain the same, delivered in a different way, right? And I think that it's inevitable. Whenever it happens, it's going to happen. So respond, right? Respond in kind. Follow your passions. You, whether you're a student who wants to come to the United States, or a parent who really has the dream of providing that to your child, or a school who really wants to welcome international students to benefit not only those students, but their whole entire community, right? This is the time, and Cambridge Network is certainly the place to go.
And I will say, and this is maybe a final thought as we end this off, but we've started shifting direction about a year ago, significantly in how we market our schools, how we recruit students, and for everybody listening to remember that when we market schools and when we recruit students, that is the fuel that keeps this partnership, this relationship, this industry going. Without that, there is no international education market industry in the United States. So we started doing that about a year ago. We've done an annual review on Cambridge Enhanced Marketing, on funded marketing, on the way in which we've just upended this market through this trendsetter, as Meg said, this trend-setting initiative, and the numbers have been incredible. And that is just the positive feedback that and the evidence that what we've done and what we continue to do and where we continue to focus is absolutely necessary and is the future and the present of this market. So it's great to get that feedback from a team. I know Meg and I have been heavily involved in those initiatives, the executive producer Dean as well. It's great to see, you know, that what we've done and the changes we make were the right decisions. So I'm going to say this again. Feel free to reach out to your Cambridge representatives. There are still very many of them that are there, and all of them that are around are absolutely incredible people, incredible professionals that are here to help you succeed. So absolutely no reason to panic. Meg, any final thoughts from your side before we say goodbye?
I believe you summarized it extremely well. It's always a pleasure talking with you. I love the way your thoughts spontaneously come, and I think it's really valuable information. Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, you know, the thoughts that you contribute to this wonderful podcast. As a reminder, we'll be taking a well-deserved break before season 2 kicks off. Season 2 is going to be extremely exciting. We've got a couple new initiatives that we're working on. We've got a brand new direction for the Cambridge Insider podcast that will still be here to be able to provide all of that necessary updates, all of that necessary information that you require. So look out for season 2, and we'll make sure that kicks off sooner rather than later. To all of our listeners, we appreciate you being here. Until next time, bye-bye, everybody.